were lost at the appeal court, I mean, if you had lost at the Supreme Court, that would have meant that NNPP, the only state that you are holding sway, would have slipped out of your hands.
Well, Sharon, thank you very much for having me on this program. And I want to assure you that I'm one person that never gave hope, never gave in that we would lose Kano.
You didn't have any fear at all?
No, I never had any fear, except I had an anxiety, but not fear.
What was the anxiety? What was it about?
Well, the anxiety is that I know how those in authority were put in a tight corner by their subordinates, who always drum that we must take Kano by force. They didn't understand democracy.
So there was a plan to take Kano at the
by
Supreme
force,
Court.
yes, yes, not from at every level. Let me first congratulate the Supreme Court for restoring the honor, dignity of the judiciary. The congratulation is not for ANPP or Abba. It is for the Supreme Court. If they had ruled otherwise, they could have been stoned on the streets of Nigeria. And nobody could have been able to ride a car with the inscription of Supreme Court of Nigeria.
Why do you say so?
There would have been a total loss of confidence on the judiciary. And I don't think anybody would ever dream of going to the court to seek for redress.
Why do you say so?
Because the court of public opinion all over the world, if I show you my telephone, suggests that Abba's victory, there was in the whole of 2023 election, the only place where election took place was Kano. And there was nothing the APC didn't do to win Kano. And I will swear by the Quran, as I sit before you, that a former senator, now APC chieftain in Kano, told me that the votes they got is less than 200,000. I swear by the Quran.
But what happened?
And I know an INEC man who told me that APC never went into election in Kano to contest, but to conquer. And that they have promised every electoral officer at the polling unit that if you spoil the votes of the box, you will have 1 million naira. That is why there was overvoting. That was why there was violence. That was why there was everything. Despite all this, they recorded over 800,000 votes. They didn't get that. They know.
These are heavy allegations.
It's not an allegation.
You're talking about more of a hearsay. And you're saying someone told you, someone told you.
I say
somebody
somebody who participated and I believe in him. I know him, you don't know him.
It may not be true, it may be false.
We've been in this game for a long time to know what is right and what is wrong.
So people were paid.
And let me tell you what people don't. Today they should know that members of the tribunal arrived at Kano in the afternoon to give judgment the following day. They were picked from Kano by unknown people, put into the plane and brought to Abuja. And they held a Zoom judgment session from somebody's private house or office. And you know for sure that the Court of Appeal disgraced itself by what they have done, because their judgment was to give Abba judgment. But they did what they did, and it was deliberate. Because such learned men, after giving that judgment, pronouncing that judgment, they didn't release the certified copy of that judgment until after 3 or 4 days. You think they wouldn't have detected those mistakes?
That's how popular he is on the ground.
It shows.
Is he Abba, Yusuf, or Kwankwaso?
Well, it is a combination of both. But more so is the trust they have in the leadership of the NNPP. But if Kwankwaso says, go and fall into fire and die, I'm telling you, half of Kano people will do that.
That's a
because they so much believe in him.
That's a dangerous one to say.
Well, it's the trust. I've just seen you drilling my friend on the issue of trust and morality. They trust him.
So Kwankwaso is one Kwankwaso, one Kano. That is it.
Of course they know. Sheun, I started something which I did not finish in the opening remark. No, I congratulated the judiciary for having salvaged their image. I could have also wanted to extend that I'm congratulating Mr. President for not interfering with the judiciary, because Nigeria could have been on fire by now if what happened on Friday did not happen. So I congratulate him for having the strength of character. And you can see that peace has pervaded the whole of Nigeria, and our rating in the eyes of the world has come up. That would be a credit for Mr. President. And when I said I wanted to see him, I called him once, twice, 3 times, and we spoke.
You mean President Tinubu?
Yes.
Have you been able to see him?
I was able to speak to him. I wasn't able to see him. I had wanted to see him to tell him one thing, that whoever comes to tell you, take over Kano, nothing will happen. I had wanted to tell him that that man is your enemy. That he wanted to destroy you as an individual, destroy your image, and he wants to destroy Nigeria.
But what would you say is a major lesson for the NNPP from this Supreme Court judgment? Because there are fundamental issues which relate to also membership and party administration as ruled by the courts.
No. The tribunal and the Court of Appeal were forced to give those judgments they did. We had no issue. Ordinarily, nobody could have gone to court on Kano, because that was the only state where elections was held in Nigeria fairly. So, I don't think there is any lesson for us to learn. The only lesson is that we should thank God Almighty for having delivered the country, and justice prevailed over falsehood. So
Kwankwaso is still hoping to become president?
I would want him to be. I don't know what he thinks.
Has he given up on being the president?
He didn't discuss that. Our problem is to sort out this case.
And this has been resolved now?
Then we will sit down and talk.